Hey, I'm Plenty from Apex Gear. Today we're taking a look at the Covert single pin sight, and we're going to be converting it to fit on a left-handed bow. So you'll notice that out of the packaging, this comes in the right-handed configuration, but fortunately it's not too hard to make a few adjustments to get it flipped over to fit on your left-handed setup. So to do this, you'll just need a standard set of Allen wrenches, not metric, just regular SAE. You'll need the sight, and then in the packaging you'll find the mounting screws. You'll need those, and then you'll notice in the packaging there's also a light. We'll talk about that light, getting that all set up in a separate video, so don't worry about that right now. So to convert your sight, the first thing that you're going to want to do is take your 1/8 inch Allen hex tool. I prefer using these longer tools, makes it just a little bit easier to reach things, but any set will do. So you're going to find this screw on the inside of the sight aperture. You're going to want to loosen that up. And it may be pretty tight because that's what holds this from spinning. So once you get it started, you can then just keep going with it. So this is a very long screw that goes through this aperture. There you go. You'll remove that completely. And then you'll notice on the sight, on the sight aperture, there's actually a hole on the other side. So what we're gonna do is just completely reverse that. We're gonna take the screw out of this side, and sometimes you have to wiggle it around a little bit to get around that pin, and then you're going to put it back in going the other way. So now looking at the sight with the bubble level facing you, it will be coming out the left side. And then you'll take this little plastic spacer that keeps it from rotating, slide that on the outside, and then now we're going to just reinstall it back where we removed it. So I'm gonna give it just a turn or two by hand to get it started, and take that 1/8 inch hex and keep it going. So by flipping the entire aperture to the other side, this means you don't have to adjust your pin, your light, any of that. It just moves it all so it faces the other way but still works. And you'll want to make sure, if you need to rotate this at all, make sure you get it lined up how you like it before you snug it down. Go. So you can probably kind of get a feel for the direction that we're headed now. So I've got the aperture flipped over, but you'll notice now the bracket is upside down. So you'll take your 9/64 hex tool, find these two screws on the back that hold the bracket to the moving system. You're going to want to completely remove these screws so that you can completely remove the bracket. And there is a small washer on both of these, so make sure you don't lose that washer. Once you have that removed, you will take it and flip it the other way so that this peak is now pointing up. And you will just reinstall it back where you removed it from after you flipped it 180 degrees. Just like changing a tire, I like to get them both in there so they're both in place, nothing's being torqued or twisted, and then from there I'll tighten them a little further, just alternating. Okay, we now have the bracket converted over. So we're actually getting really close. We're most of the way there. So now you'll see conceptually how this would mount on the bow and work for a lefty. The only problem is your end of travel stop would now max out on the short range. You need this to be at the bottom so that it provides a maximum long range distance. So in order to flip that over, you're going to take your 1/16 inch hex tool, loosen this small set screw on that piece. You don't need to completely remove that screw because it's a very small screw and you don't want to lose it. So once you get it loosened, this whole thing will slide out. Pull it out of the top. Now put it in the bottom. Just right in that dovetail track. And then go ahead and tighten it down. After you sight in, you'll want to adjust this position so that it truly is a stop at your maximum distance. This prevents the sight from over traveling and ever contacting your arrow or your vanes. But right now, just putting it just slightly in there is enough to keep it in position and get it basically established. So with that, we've got all the basic changes we need to convert this over to our left-handed setup. So now you're just gonna install it on your bow. So I like to start with the middle set of holes, just because that's kind of a good average position for most bows. Some bows, depending on what speed you're shooting, you may want to move it up, down, in, out slightly, but that middle position's a good starting point for just about everybody. Let's take your 1/8 inch. Get that started. Okay, got that one screw in there. Now I'm gonna hold it up, get the other one going. And remember, you're threading steel screws into an aluminum riser or inserts in a carbon riser. So you want to get it snug, but you definitely don't want to over tighten that. So now that we've got that on there, you can see how as a left-handed shooter, it works the exact same. I can dial it, I can unlock it, I can dial it up, dial it down, do everything I want with it. I adjust the windage and elevation in the exact same way. So with that set up, you're ready to go sight it in. Hope you found this helpful. If you need more information, check out apex-gear.com.